This is Colleen. And this is Ankit. Hi, my name is Kristen, and on this channel, we talk about long-distance relationships. And on today's episode, we are going to talk about engagement. Colleen and Ankit had been engaged while they're in their long-distance relationship. And today, they're going to answer some questions that are running through your head. So come on, let's go give them a call.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi guys, it's Kristen Cares calling.
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us.
So we're gonna start us off by some basic questions. Can you guys tell us your name, your age, the country that you are originally from, and the country you guys were in during LDR, and some fun facts about you? Go ahead.
Sure. So I'm Colleen. I'm 28. Or sorry, I just turned 29 last week. I'm 29.
Happy birthday, belated.
I'm originally from Boston, and so we've kind of done a few instances of LDR. So we first started Boston to Chicago, then we did Boston to Montreal, and now we're doing Boston to Paris because my fun fact is, Montreal to Paris, because I'm doing my master's in Paris.
And I'm Ankit.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
I am 30 and I'm doing my PhD in Montreal. And I'm from India.
And then you guys are like doing all these like LDR everywhere. How's that going for you guys?
It's going. We've only ever done long distance, so for us it's kind of just the normalness of the relationship, but we're really looking forward to it ending.
Yeah.
I'm sure you are. So can you tell us how you guys met? Like the very first time you guys met?
Yeah.
We work together.
Yeah, we were coworkers at a startup. Ankit was one of the research scientists and I was in recruiting, and I started like a month before him, and it wasn't love at first sight. It was very much a slow burn of us just starting to be friends with each other. And then I ended up getting the job in Chicago about 6 months into our time working together. And I had a crush on him that whole summer, but I was kind of hesitant to ask him out because it was such a close, very small. There was only 10 people in the office, so if it went bad, it would have been really awkward. So I waited, and I'm so glad I did.
Wow, that's really interesting. How was that for the receiving end, Ankit? Like, did you kind of have any signs that she had a crush on you, or were you just like?
Well, there were apparently signs, but I missed them all. I was really oblivious. I didn't know what. I just thought we were really good friends. And I thought she's awesome and I found her very attractive. I just didn't think that this was a possibility. So I think a part of me just chose to ignore all of her hints until she actually asked me out. And that was, I think, a strong enough hint that I couldn't ignore.
So, Colleen, what were some of the hints you did? And then were you like, he didn't even get that?
Oh, well, I guess the biggest one was one time when we were coworkers, a bunch of us had gone out to a bar together after work, and I ended up missing my train home. So Ankit and his roommate, who was also one of our coworkers, offered for me to stay over at their apartment, which was awesome, super nice of them. And then we get to the apartment and his roommate goes to bed, and he came out of his room to get something to drink, and then I followed him back into his room and then stayed in his bedroom on his bed till like 3 a.m, just like talking about ourselves and talking about life. And I'm sitting there being like, when is he gonna kiss me? When is he gonna kiss me? I'm sitting in bed ready for him to kiss me. And he was like in the chair in like the opposite corner of the room, like as far away, as like respectful as possible.
Because I didn't want to make it uncomfortable for her.
Yeah, wow, that was crazy. I would have been like, time. It's about time. And then he was like, I don't want to scare her. She might think I'm
exactly.
crazy.
So it was great,
That was really
but I was kind of dying.
And she called me once when she was drunk.
Yes.
At almost 11 p.m.
No, it was past that. It was like 12:30 in the morning.
Yeah, she called me just like hey, I'm outside
I was like, I'm at a bar with my friends. You should come meet us. And his friend, the roommate friend, was like, "That's so booty call." And Ankit was like, "No, it's not." So he brought the friend. So I was very surprised when Ankit and the friend showed up. I was like, "That's not what I ordered."
Why are there two?
Exactly.
I only called one.
Yes.
That's hilarious. Oh my goodness. So can you tell us how long you guys have been dealing with the LDR thing?
Sure. So, yeah, right when I got the job offer in Chicago, that's when it started. So we've been doing it for 3 years.
That's a long time. And then it's
Yes.
like different places every time, like
Yeah,
awesome.
I guess every year we're doing a new
Version.
city pair.
Yeah.
But I think hopefully this is the last one.
Let's hope so.
And
Yeah, like
2021 might be the year, most probably, that we finally end this long distance.
Yes.
oh my goodness, that's so exciting. I can't wait for you guys actually. You guys are gonna close the distance like so soon. So now that we are on that topic, can you tell us how you guys got engaged? How was the proposal like and those kinds of things?
So we ended up picking out the ring together. So the proposal wasn't the biggest surprise because obviously I knew it's coming if we just picked out the ring. And it's also tough too because when you're in LDR, there's only so many times that you see each other. So each time we saw each other, I kept thinking like, this is the time, this is the time. And I really thought he was going to propose to me at Easter, but then Easter came and went, and I was like, all right, I guess it's not Easter. And then I came to visit Memorial Day weekend in May, and then he proposed at the botanical gardens, and I was very surprised because I like frisked him basically like on the way there, like checking for a box, and like felt nothing, and I was like, okay, I guess it's my husband's day. And he ended up hiding it in his pocket in a handkerchief, which I'm so glad that I found that out afterwards because I was so afraid. Like hearing that, I'm like, the ring could have fallen out. So safe. I'm glad that I didn't know.
I mean,
Yeah.
I folded it in pretty well.
And it was also,
Yeah.
I was very much thrown off because on the train ride, he was falling asleep. And I was like, Ankit is one of those people, he'd be super nervous. I was like, he's acting way too cool. Like, there's no way.
Maybe that's his acting.
Yeah, I
That's
tried
really
to act
wise.
as well as possible. Like, there's nothing special about this day. In
Nothing
fact,
at
I
all.
was also like,
Inside, you're like,
we don't have to go to the botanical garden. Are you sure you're in the mood? We can.
Yeah, I was like,
no.
what's happening?
What if he's like, yeah, let's not go there. What would you have done? You've been like, oh shoot, now I gotta think of a different place. No, but like, what made you not hide it in a box? Like, did you know that she was gonna try to like feel if you have?
Well, the box is huge.
Yeah,
the box was
is
like really big. So it would be very obvious. You could see in my pocket, there's this very cubic structure in my
like a
pocket.
lump sticking out. Like, oh, what's that?
Yeah.
That's the ring.
So, well, that was my original intention, to have it be with the box so that I could do the whole box thing.
Yeah.
I don't have any kind of, but I tried it out. I saw no matter where I put it, it's always very obvious. There was no place to put it unless like I had some sort of a bag, and I don't carry like a bag. So
yeah. So how did you do it with the hanky? Like,
so I just wrapped it inside a handkerchief and put it in my pocket, which is not suspicious because I always have a handkerchief.
Yeah. Good.
So that was the only challenge was when I found a good place, I was unwrapping it with one hand without looking at it in my pocket, trying to find it. Yeah.
Oh, I'm on my knees. I look weird. So how did that go? Did you actually kneel down and then show the ring, or were you like ring first and then kneel down? I never get like the order there.
No,
I guess it's the same time.
Yeah.
You go down.
Yeah, exactly.
I found it once we found a nice spot, because the garden was pretty crowded and we wanted to find a nice private spot. So we found a part of the garden where there was no one else. And I thought, this is perfect. I started fishing for the ring. I found the ring. was holding it in my hand. But then by that time, Colleen was going out, so I had to bring her back. So I
Yeah.
was like, "Hey, Colleen, come here. Look at this plan." Something really like that. I don't remember.
Look at
So,
this plant. It's interesting. It's green.
so she's like, okay.
How
And
did
then
you feel, Colleen? Were you like, what's up with the plant?
Well, I was just really frustrated. I was trying not to be in a bad mood because I love that park, but I was like, this is on the way there. I was like, this is such a perfect opportunity. What is he doing? Like, what is this coming? And I was just
Yeah.
super frustrated. So I was walking around trying not to be in a pissy mood because it's not his fault. Like, and then so I was really thrown off when he actually,
Oh my goodness, that's like perfect because you're like
yeah,
almost so
while
mad.
she was actually checking out the plan,
yes,
and then she turned around and I was there.
yes,
Oh my goodness, that's so nice. I mean, like me being on Colleen's end, it's like, but then afterwards, it's like, you know what
yes.
I mean? Like it's happening. So, what's the difference with like proposing LDR? Because I know that sometimes most, or well, not most, some couples who are in LDR, they like talk about it and they don't even do the proposal anymore, and they go straight to just preparing the wedding. How different was it, you think, would compared to a normal couple where they're like, always together? It's easy to prepare a surprise, whereas you guys only get some time, this short of time together, and then you have to kind of prepare for a proposal.
I guess with the long distance relationships, it's more important to be on the same page. So we've spoken about these things before, and that's why the topic of marriage has come up, and we knew that we both wanted to get married. And that's how we decided to buy the ring together. And that was a good choice because she ended up picking something which
It's like the exact opposite of what I
she
said
would
I
never
wanted.
have imagined that's
Yeah.
what she would like the most. So all the hints that she had given me, she did not like. She did not actually like that ring when she tried it. So
Yeah.
that was a great move. And then, but we still wanted to do it, have like that surprise element. So we had the ring, but when the
She doesn't know
proposal
when.
was a
Yeah.
surprise, and I tried to make it as surprising as possible.
Yes.
Right. So would you guys recommend that for couples who are also in their LDR and have also decided to get married, but then they're trying to think of ways to surprise their partner? Would that be like a good like thing to do, like to have your partner choose the ring so that they like it, and then not tell them when you'll propose?
I really like doing it this way because I had a few friends who got engaged, and I'd be like, "Oh, your ring's beautiful," and they're like, "Yeah, it's growing on me," and I'm like, "Oh, like that's a huge investment that you're gonna have for the rest of your life to have it grow on you." And for us, like we just had such a fun time picking out the ring. Like that day in itself is just a really fun day, and like that's just tied into the memory that I have every time I look at the ring. And
Yeah, it was a great day when we went ring shopping.
yeah,
It's a really good memory.
yeah. So and again, especially like that, like you don't really know until you try the rings, like what actually you like. It's literally the exact opposite of what I thought that I wanted, and I couldn't be happier.
That's good. That's good. I really appreciate the tip that about talking about it. Like I think couples have this preconceived notion where they're like, it has to be a complete surprise. They shouldn't
Right.
know what the ring is. They shouldn't know when it is. But I think since you are gonna wear it for a lifetime, it's important to have like or to know what you want or what your partner wants. Because if they don't like it and then they wear it and it's like, oh, I don't know, it's growing on me, or it's like, oh, kind of like it, but not that much. It doesn't
Right.
it doesn't have that same effect, whereas to you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so in love with this ring.
Yeah.
I remember what we did. You know what I mean?
That can be like, that looks very type A and very controlling, that, I wanted to be there and be part of it. But again, like this is the start of our real cemented partnership of now we're literally signing up to be partners for life. So I feel like I should be involved in this. Again, it's a huge expense. This is our first major expense as a couple. I think there should be some input.
Yeah, maybe for some people, it really depends on what works best for both the parties in a couple. Like for us, so what we are saying is it's a very good option that has a lot of benefits, but we're not saying that that is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
It depends on the couple and whatever they really expect out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a really good option.
Yeah, I agree. At the end of the day, it's still their choice, but having
Yeah.
that as an option is also gonna reap some benefits. So
Mhm.
speaking of benefits, we're gonna go on the opposite side. What was it like? Like, did you guys have any like super big struggles dealing with the distance and then being engaged, having a fiance who's like living so far away from you, and then preparing for a future wedding? What's the biggest, I guess, hurdle you guys face?
Oh, easily COVID. And so we went, so right now we're together at my mom's house for the holidays, but before that we had gone 8 months without seeing each other, and that was the longest we've ever gone. I was in France doing school and he was in Montreal, and
I guess before that, maybe the longest was 2 months.
yeah, so
Ooh.
and I think the hardest part about it wasn't even necessarily being apart, because you get into the routine, you get used to it. It just, that was also the first time we didn't know when we were going to see each other next.
Mhm.
And we kept having dates. He was supposed to come in that 8 months 5 different times, and those 5 times his flight kept getting canceled or the country would shut down the borders. So the fact that we didn't know when we would see each other next was the hardest part. And again, you're trying to plan a wedding in a third country because we're getting married in the US. But again, neither of us were there, so it was super stressful. And that's when we decided to hire a wedding planner, because we were like, nope, can't do it. This is not fun.
Mhm.
I know, right? And you guys are in two different countries, and then you're gonna get married in another country, which
Yes.
is
Yep.
COVID
Yes.
and everything. So it's like it's such a big stress. Like, do you guys have any tips for those who are also on the same page, who are also preparing for their wedding but are in long distance? What can you give them? I guess like maybe some encouragement or tools that you use.
I think just communicating with your partner is the biggest one, and remembering that you're on the same team, and to kind of think, I guess maybe because we're both students, it's easy for me to think of it like a group project, and just remember that it's a group project that you're working on together. And I think having conversations about how you can share the responsibilities, I think, is really helpful. And I think a lot of times people assume that the girl should do most of it, or the girl wants to do most of it, or the guy doesn't want any input. And there are some couples where maybe that's the case, but again, you don't know that. Like Ankit's actually way more involved in the wedding planning than I thought he would want to be, and I love that. But until we had these conversations, I never would have known that. And then that could have turned into a fight where it would have looked like I was controlling the wedding. So it's good just to communicate your expectations, and I found it very helpful.
I agree.
Yeah, I believe the same thing too. Like, I feel that in LDR, if you are in a long distance relationship, talking about the deep, hard, and tough issues has gotten a little bit more easier rather than like going into a relationship normally and then kind of feeling awkward to talk about those things. I feel like
Yeah,
being in an LDR gives you a safe space to discuss
totally.
those things. I don't know if you guys experience the same thing, but being away just allows you to kind of talk about and sit down about those things that are hard to discuss when it's like in a normal setting.
I think for us, and I think just in long distance, you talk about the hard stuff maybe sooner than you would in a regular relationship. Like for us, one of the biggest conversations we had to have at the very beginning was finances, because we weren't sharing the responsibility of travel equally. I just moved to Chicago. I was making like a third of what Ankit made. And so we had to have the conversation of, I can't afford to travel to you, so we need to figure out what works for you, because that's also not fair for you to hold all of that responsibility. And we didn't want the other one to resent the other one, but we had to have a serious conversation at just 2 months in of, what do your finances look like? What do my finances look like? And how can we make this work as a couple where we're not making the other one feel bad or feel like the other one doesn't care as much because they financially can't do it.
Right. Like, I think LDR is a lot of teamwork and a lot of group effort. And I think that's why many people who kind of, I don't want to say hate, but judge LDR, the people who think that it doesn't work, I think for them, they just experienced it in a way where their partner wasn't very much of a team worker or didn't have the same commitment as together working at it, choosing to, share responsibilities, talking about finances, money, and all those personal things that you won't normally share when you're just 2 months in a
Right.
relationship, right? So I think it's very special in a way because in LDR, you do have to kind of put yourself in that mindset wherein, okay, I have to be comfortable in sharing my bank, my bank
Yeah.
situation, sharing my credits, and those kinds of things.
Yeah.
Would you say that being able to discuss those things early on will help LDR couples have a maybe stronger relationship down the road?
I feel like if there is an issue and you're consciously putting it off, that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like if you don't know that there's a thing and you're putting it off, sure, that happens all the time. But I don't see why putting something off consciously is a good idea.
Yeah.
Might as well tackle it as soon as possible.
All right, guys. So now that we are towards the end of our interview, we are going to ask you some tips and recommendations. So I'm sure our viewers out here who are watching are really interested because they're either engaged as well, or they're either have their fiance far away, or they're probably closing the distance. What are some of the things that you guys can share to them that would help them, that you learned along the way, and something that they could carry with them if they feel discouraged?
I think just keep in mind, especially when the days are really tough and you're really unsure of what exactly is going to happen, just remember of what you're working towards at the end of the day. Just even if like we don't actually know when we're officially going to close the gap. Like for us, marriage doesn't necessarily mean that the gap will be closed. Like there is potential you might have to do long distance marriage, but it's the thought of like we're working towards being together. And when things are tough, I just think of, someday we're just going to laugh. And in the grand scheme of things, this period of long distance of 3 years is going to be nothing. Like, while that seems like such a long time, in a hopefully 60-year marriage, that'll just be a tiny fraction and be nothing. So I think just try not to focus too much on the scary stuff, and sometimes you just tell yourself all of the reasons why it won't work, and I think just reminding yourself why it does work, and for long distance engagement, just really focusing on just your person, and that eventually it'll end.
And there are a lot of ups and downs always. There will be downs where you feel like this isn't going to work, or this is just too hard. And then there are ups when you're just completely in love and you think this is so much fun and this is so worth it. And it's always worth it. Just it's expected that it's like this cycle continues. Sometimes things are hard, sometimes things are easy. You just try not to give up when things get hard.
Yeah.
My takeaway there is to just look at the future, look ahead, and don't stop working at it. Baby steps, little steps, they all work towards the same goal. And if you guys are both meeting there, it's going to be worth it at the end. All right, guys, for the last one that we are going to ask you, what are some of the best things that you have experienced during your LDR, so that the people out there that are just starting out in their LDR will have some inspiration?
For me, the coolest part of it is being able to experience two sides, being able to experience another city, like, and get the experience feeling like you live in another city because you go and visit. Like when I visit him in Montreal, I get the experience that I'm actually living in Montreal, and I think that's really fun. And on the flip side, it's really cool, like having him come visit me in Paris and seeing Paris through the eyes of someone who's never been before, and like just awakens my love for the city, and I like makes me remember the first time that I saw the city, and I think that's really cool and really fun.
And even when we're not together, we still talk about our days all the time. So it's like through my experiences, she gets to get an idea about what my life is like in Montreal, and I get to imagine her life in Paris. So we're still living vicariously through each other in these different cities.
Follow-up question. Right now, where are you guys going to be staying after the holiday?
I will go back to Paris and he will go back to Montreal.
So for those who are out there who are just going to be together for the holidays and are also separating after that, we have Ankit, the LDR, and Colleen in the LDR podcast here giving us some inspirations. On that note, can you guys share to the people where they can find you and where they could follow you, because we want them to know about your podcast so that they can listen to all your interviews and all the other shows that you have on your episodes. Go ahead.
Awesome. So you can find us on Instagram and Twitter at the LDR podcast. And then our podcast is available. It's just called the LDR podcast, and it's on Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, and Google Play, and Anchor FM.
I will leave all their links down below in the description box so you guys can just click on them and you can just go ahead and head straight there and listen to their stories and podcasts. I've been listening to their podcasts here and there when I have the time, and they're amazing because you get some insights, some wisdom about long distance relationship. And if you need some encouragement, some advice, they are also there on Instagram. So again, down below, you can see all their links. I'll put them there. Just click it. If you guys have any follow-up questions for Colleen and Ankit, you can leave it in the comments below. Maybe we can answer them in the future. Who knows? We might have them back here on our show. Thank you so much, LDR Podcast, for being here. And again, thank you guys for watching the show. And as always, I will see you later.
Bye.
If you're someone who's in your long distance relationship and you recently just got engaged, I hope that you found value in this video. And if you did, consider subscribing to the channel and hit that bell for more long distance relationship topics. On our next episode, we're gonna call someone who's in their long distance relationship with someone from a different culture. So if you're someone who's dating a person from a different country or a different cultural background in a long distance, that next episode is gonna be perfect for you. So I will see you over on that next episode.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi, it's sorry, go again. again. Lights, camera, action.